Good afternoon, welcome to today's show. I'm Leigh Perry, we're live from Touchwood and you're listening to Solihull Radio.
Leigh Perry on Solihull Radio.
Solihull Radio.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around, I get around, round, 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 I get around, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around. I'm getting bugged driving up and down the same old strip. I gotta find a new place where the kids are hip. You're getting real well known. Yeah, the bad guys know us and they leave us alone. I get around, round, 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 I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. I get around. Get around, round, round. Car, cause it's never been beat, and we've never missed yet with the girls we meet. None of the guys go steady, cause it wouldn't be right to leave your best girl home on a Saturday night. I get around, round, 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 I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. I get around. Get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around, round, round, I get around. Get around,
There we go. That was the Beach Boys. Welcome to the show once again. I'm Leigh Perry. You are listening to Solihull Radio. We are online and on demand, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour and a half, and it's hot, hot, hot here right now in the studio. I've just found a fridge with a bottle of Prosecco, and I'm just debating, do I have some Prosecco or do I have a cup of tea? I think I'll stick with the tea just for now because I've got to speak for the next hour and a half. Anyway, we've got a real feel-good factor show for you this afternoon. We've got some fantastic music coming up in the next hour or so. I've got some Billy Joel, Kool and the Gang, S Club 7, Stevie, you name it, we've got it. So stay with us. I'm glad you could join us. I've got a couple of great guests as well. It's all about the local things that are going on today. So I'll be introducing my first guest just after this next track. This is a bit of Earth, Wind and Fire and After the Love Has Gone.
Love was all we could do. We were young and we knew in our eyes were alive. Deep inside we knew our love was true. For a while we paid no mind to the past. We knew love would last every night. Something right would invite us to begin the day. Something happened along the way. What used to be happy was sad. Something happened along the way, and yesterday was all we had. And oh, after the love is gone, how could you leave me on? And not let me stay around. Love each other with all we would ever need. Love was strong for so long. Never knew that what was wrong, oh baby, wasn't right. We tried to find what we had. Till sadness was all we shared. We were scared this affair would lead our love into something. Happy, sad. Something happened along
Oh, just listen to that sax player. What an amazing sound. I love that band. Welcome to the show once again. I'm Leigh. I'm with you for the next hour and a half, and you listen to Solihull Radio. We're live from Studio 148 here at Touchwood in Solihull. And joining me in the studio, my first guest this afternoon, I'd like to say a great welcome because it is very, very hot. We are struggling, but we're going to have a good time. Is Chris Chase Byrne. Hi, Chris.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, very warm. Very, very warm.
Yeah, so I've just found the fridge, as you know, and if you could see me now.
Chugging a can of Coke.
I found a great use for a can of Diet Coke, because I don't drink it, but it's brilliant when you shove it on your neck or on your wrist or something, isn't it, when it's really cold. So you just said, actually, that was one of your favourite bands I've just played, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's our kind of music, isn't it? Mm. So, Chris, you're a musician.
Yes.
What's your background?
As a musician, I started playing piano when I was tiny, about 7 years old, it was actually my grandfather who played and sort of introduced me to it, fell in love with it. The rest is history, as they say. I just got involved in it as any way I can from that tiny age. And now I'm making a career out of it, which is exciting.
Exactly. So we met a couple of years back at the Birmingham Music Awards.
We did.
Yeah. Which was a bit random.
Yes.
But, and then we got in touch on Twitter, and we've had conversations about music ever since. Mm-hmm. And you were starting a new project.
Correct.
About a year ago? A bit longer?
Just over a year ago now.
Okay, so tell us about that.
So I set up Black Train Music, which is a community interest company. And the idea behind that is to bring high quality and accessible live music projects, events, workshops, sessions mainly to the north side of Solihull, where there's high levels of deprivation and social isolation and all this sort of stuff. So I was very much involved in Three Trees Centre over there, still am. That kind of became my second home, and the people I met in the place, whether it be the people who were working for and running the place or whether it was the people that were coming in, there was a great appetite for live music and music workshops. But it's such a difficult and expensive art form to get involved with. So I thought, well, actually, if it's difficult for people to get out to it, then I decided to bring it in to the community, and that's basically what we do.
Perfect. I don't know if you saw the news this morning. There was a piece from the Birmingham Conservatoire. Julian Lloyd-Webber was talking, and we've had this conversation before about it's almost like it's like the lotteries where you live as to what kind of music education you get these days, isn't it? Obviously, we're both in music. Yeah,
that's absolutely true. And it's almost devastating that you have to really fight so hard to get access to it in many places.
I know, because I suppose I'm not going to ask you how old you are. But,
you can if you like.
Well, I was going to say in our time. Well, when I was at school, music was part of the curriculum. You had your choirs, you sang in assembly, there was always music in assemblies, and music was just a general thing. Yeah. We didn't have to pay extra to have music, it was all part of it. You could take your O-level back then, O-level of music. If you wanted to, I had keyboard lessons and then organ lessons privately as well, but it was much bigger than it seems to be these days. Massively. I was a teacher myself until a couple of years ago, and I could just see on a day-to-day basis how much of a stretch and that it was just constantly being sucked out. And there were people within the education system who are fighting tooth and nail to keep it in, to keep it going, to keep everything there. But they're battling against greater forces, unfortunately. It's so sad because actually it's very mathematical, isn't it? I mean, I don't know whether... I think maybe it depends on who your head teacher might be as to what their passion is and what they think of music. But it's a known fact that music is mathematical. Yep. So they go together very, very well. I saw an article this week, actually, which I retweeted about a guy sort of in his mid to late 70s with dementia, who couldn't remember his own family's names, but he could sit at the piano and just perfectly play a piece that he played as a child. Yeah. So there's that side of it, and there's the whole mental health side of things that's sort of very high at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And music's great for all of these things. So don't you think the fundamental thing is they should be bringing it back into schools and not taking it away from us?
Absolutely, 100%. But with the current sort of climate of everything political and beyond, it's just proving very, very difficult for that to happen. But in terms of the effects on the mental health side of stuff, music. A lot of the workshops and stuff that I'm running with Black Train during the daytimes is very much about that. As an example, I do a weekly listening project, calling it, where the group users can come along and they will bring their favourite songs, pieces of music, and whether it's something they just love to listen to, or if it's something that means something to them or takes them back to their childhood or anything like that, we all listen to it and then talk about it on a very sort of therapeutic level.
Yeah.
And I've recently also taken that into a home for the elderly over in the north of Solihull. There's two chaps who come to that group who are both suffer with dementia, and you can, you have great conversations with them, but you can see the joy and the smiles, and they just light up when they hear these things, that these songs and pieces of music that take them back 20, 30, 40 years, and it's priceless, absolutely priceless.
It is. Sounds like a fantastic project. So it's Black Train. Black. Where did you get that name from?
People keep asking me this question. It's a very, very dull story.
Oh, okay.
I tried for ages to come up with a name that I liked, and I just couldn't. And I was trying to be really clever about it and come up with one that meant something. And I spoke to a friend of mine and I said, what do I do? And he just said, you just need to make it sound right. It doesn't have to mean something, just make it sound right. He said, what type of words do you like? What do you want them to sound like? Do you want it to sound hard-edged? Do you want it to sound cool? Do you want it to sound hip? And eventually, after writing lots of lists, I came up with that. That is it. There's no deeper meaning or anything. Sorry to disappoint.
Well, whatever. It's a good name, isn't it?
I think so.
Okay, we're going to be talking about a really exciting event coming up for you in just a few minutes. Before that, another great band, Level 42, Chris. They are on at the Solihull Fest, running in a family.
Would send us to our room, he'd be the voice of doom. He said that we would thank him later. All day he was solid as a rock, but by 8 o'clock we'd be grumbling. One night my brother Joe and me climbed down the family tree that grew outside our bedroom window. We ran though we knew we couldn't last, running from the past, things that we were born to be. Looking back, it's so bizarre, it runs in the family. All the things we are, on the backseat of the car, with Joseph and Emily. We only see so far, and we all have our daddy's eyes. Looking back, it's so bizarre. The judge, a man so large, he barely fit his circumstances. He said 2 kids out on the street were picked up on the beat in the station. So there's me with Emily and Joe and Daddy driving home, all heading in the same direction. He knew no matter what the brakes, we make the same mistakes. Couldn't take his eyes off Joe and me. Looking back, it's so bizarre, it runs in the family. All the things we are, on the backseat of the car, with Joseph and Emily. We only see so far, and we all have our daddy's eyes. Looking back, it's so bizarre, it runs in the family. All the things we are, looking back, it's so bizarre. Like a dream within a dream, or somewhere in between. Like a drum that blazes down like a fire.
listening to Solihull Radio.
Everything was dark, oh yeah, yeah. All of a sudden, on came the lights, and everything was feeling right. People started dancing. They called me over to join in. They said, JT, don't you feel good, man? Come on and join the reggae jam. I heard them singing, ooh la la la, hey hey hey, let's go dancing, ooh la la la, reggae dancing, ooh la la la, woo! Let's go dancing, go get your dancing shoes, get your dancing shoes, reggae dancing. I wanna get to know you. Come on, let's reggae down, oh, yeah, yeah. Get better acquainted, so that everything will be fine. Hey, ladies. Hey, baby, what's your name? Is it a Mrs. or is it Miss A? If you smile yourself, I'd like to take you for a ride. Check the scene, then we can reggae down, and we'll be singing, ooh la la la, let's go dancing, ooh la la la, come on, let's go reggae dancing, ooh la la la, let's go dancing, ooh la la la, reggae dancing, so it's a special. Give me some more, oh yeah, yeah. The world is yours for dancing, yeah. Just let that music take you. Can't you hear him singing? Ooh la la la, let's go dancing. Ooh la la la, we are reggae, reggae dancing. Ooh la la la, let's go dancing.
Leigh Perry on Solihull Radio.
Solihull Radio.
Yes, you are listening to Solihull Radio. We are live at Studio 148 here at Touchwood. With you for the next hour and a half. If you'd like to get in touch with us today, if you've got any questions for Chris or my guest coming up a bit later on, Sue, who's coming in to talk about the Marie Curie Ball that's happening in October and her work with the local hospice, then you can get in touch. Just text us on 82228 and start your text message with the word studio. Or, of course, you can email us and the address is studio@solihullradio.com. Or even if you've got a music request, then do get in touch just to say hi. A bit later on, Arush is here. She's got the what's on in the area, the Birmingham and the Solihull area, what you can get out to see. But right now, I've got Chris Chaseburn here talking about his project, his CIC, the Black Train Music, and an event that's coming up very soon. Chris, exciting.
Yes, it is very. So it's the second year we've done this, but we've just a week ago launched our Solihull Rising Star competition.
Okay.
Which is a singing competition for 12 to 16-year-olds in the wider Solihull area and beyond. and it's basically we're looking for a young person of that age with potential and a drive for performance and singing and all of that sort of stuff that we can kind of bring on board for the next year or so and work with and help develop through our prize package that we're offering to the winner.
Brilliant. So it's called Solihull Rising Star.
Yes.
And anybody can enter between that age, in that age category.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay. So the closing date for entries is the 30th of August. That's the deadline.
That is the deadline.
And how do
yes.
people get in touch?
Okay, so they need to email us at, can I give out the email address now?
Of course.
Shall I do it right now?
Of course.
info@blacktrainmusic.co.uk to request an application pack. So we'll send the stuff back to them with the T's and C's and the application form and all the details. And the stage one of the audition process is that they submit a video recording or an audio recording of them singing. It doesn't have to be a professionally made video or anything like that, or a professional recording. It could just be someone sat in,
on their phone,
yeah,
something like that.
At the kitchen table with a backing track playing in the background.
Yep.
Anything
Yep.
that gives us a really good idea of their abilities already. And then from those entries, we will then shortlist from those. And then stage 2 and the final stage, they get what's the word? Invited.
It's the heat.
They get, yes, I said this would happen.
Do you want some Prosecco?
Maybe. They get invited to a face-to-face audition in front of a panel. So there's 5 of us on the panel.
Okay.
Where they will be asked to sing 2 songs, one with a backing track that they prepared, or they can play for themselves, and one with a live musician, which if they play themselves can be them again, or
Yeah.
if they don't, then I'll play piano for them.
Sure, yeah.
So we get the opportunity to see them actually working with a live musician as well as the backing tracks, because a lot of people sing, to backing tracks, whether it's at home in the car
yes.
or publicly.
Oh, yes.
But it's a very different ball game when you've got
It is.
another human being sat next to you.
It's amazing. Actually, I could go down that route for ages. But yeah,
Yes.
it's really. I think it's really good for people to experience. I think it's the same. I actually have experienced the same sort of thing through the music school. DMS in Knoll with.
Yeah.
Teachers that everybody's different, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and some have come down that I haven't. I've come down. Well, you also perform an awful lot, so I've come down that kind of route,
Yeah.
Professional musician. But a lot of people that have come down the degree route
Yeah.
can't necessarily then get in with a band and play with a band or back a singer. It's a different thing. Isn't
Very,
it?
very different skills involved. And one of my favourite bits about being a musician is the interaction you get with people,
Yes.
especially when you're making that music, and that's the most joyous
Yeah,
part of
it
it, as far
is.
as I'm concerned.
It is.
We could get many entries for this, and they can all sing with a backing track. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
But it's that next level of being able to work with or interact with a live musician as well is
Brilliant.
something we'd definitely be looking for.
Brilliant. And you've got a panel of judges.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
The panel of judges is myself.
Yes.
So I'm kind of there representing 2 sort of organisations in a sense, because this project, this competition is being run in partnership with my community choir, North Solihull Singers, who've been going for nearly 15 years now. So I'm kind of there with both hats on. I've got 2 representatives from the choir who are also going to be on the panel. I've got a volunteer who works with me on a couple of Black Train projects who's sitting on the panel, and also Liam Price, whose name is going to become very, very familiar as the next few weeks go on. Now, Liam was our winner last year, absolutely blew us away. And bought the house down when he came and performed with the choir and another gig and all that sort of stuff. But he is now also a high-flying competitor on The Voice Kids UK, and he is so brilliant. But his first audition has received something like, it's nearly around 1.5 million views on YouTube and stuff.
Wow.
So he's really catching people's attention.
I did recognise the name when you mentioned it, and I watched The Voice Kids.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the panel of judges as well. I think they're
Yeah.
really talented, which I think is good to have. I watched it last night, and there's some real talent. And I remember Liam, and also I was just talking to another presenter from Solihull Radio, John, who was in earlier today, John Reeves, who organises or helps with the Armed Forces Day.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Liam that sang there yesterday.
I think he was there, yeah.
In the scorching 33 degrees
Yeah.
as it was.
Yeah.
So brilliant. It's going to be interesting to see how he gets on.
Absolutely,
And,
yeah.
What happens in the future. We'll talk a bit more about the prize in a second
Yeah.
and exactly what's going to happen for the winner.
Yeah.
Bit more music now. Let's have some Stevie. This is Signed, Sealed, Delivered.
Like a fool, I went and stayed too long. I'm wondering if your love's still strong. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Then that time I went and said goodbye. Now I'm back and not ashamed to cry. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. Here I am, baby. Oh, you got my future in your hand. Here I am, baby. You got my future in your hand. I've done a lot of foolish things that I really didn't mean. Didn't I? Oh, baby. Seen a lot of things in this old world. When I touched them, they meant nothing, girl. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. I'm yours. Ooh, we think it set my soul on fire. That's why I know you're my only desire. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Here I am, baby. Whoa, you got my future in your hand, baby. Here I am, baby. You got my future in your hand, baby. Yeah, I've done a lot of foolish things that I really didn't mean. I could be a broken man, but here I with the future, got the future, baby. Here I am, baby. Here I am, baby. Get it, I know it's good. Oh, baby, here I am, baby.
Oh, can't beat a bit of Stevie, can you, on a Sunday afternoon? Gosh, it's hot, hot, hot. We're trying to keep cool here in studio. Chris is with me from Black Train Music, talking about the competition that's coming up very soon, Solihull Rising Star. We'd like to say hello to Kelvin, wouldn't we, Chris?
Well, we would, maybe. Bless
Hi,
him.
Kelvin.
Hi,
Thank
Kelvin.
you for listening.
Yes,
Thank
thanks
you
for your
listening.
text.
Hope you're enjoying the music. Coming up in the next hour, we've got some fabulous tunes, including some Bob Marley, some ABBA, some UB40, our very own UB40 from Brum, of course, and some Bruno Mars, one of my favourite bands. Talking music, you were saying just then, off air, that I could have picked all your favourite songs, and I didn't know that they were your favourite songs.
Stevie's an absolute favourite of mine. Earth, Wind and Fire.
yeah.
And Level 42, which I'm going to mention now,
Oh,
as I
yes.
said to you a little while ago.
Yes.
That I was on the verge of cancelling my wife's birthday this year because they are playing Solihull Summerfest on the evening of her birthday.
Oh, my gosh.
To buy tickets for that would be great, but it would be like one of those things where it's more for me than for her.
Does she
So
not
I've
like Level 42?
Well, she probably, at the moment, is sitting there thinking, who on earth are they? I have no idea. She probably would, but I couldn't really say, should we go and see
honestly.
a favourite band of mine for your birthday? I don't think it would go down very well, would it?
I would. I'd love to go and see them. I just think they're amazing. So, do you like the Steve Miller Band?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Do you remember Adam and the Ants?
Yes.
Right, you're going to hate me for this next one.
Go on.
I was educating Arushi last week because I was looking through because obviously she's a decade younger than me. I was looking through the music that's here on the computer, and I came up with one that I used to, when my mom was driving me around the UK, because I was a concert organist when I was 16. I left school at 16. Couldn't drive then. Mum used to drive me around, and she used to have certain songs she'd put on the radio, and we used to just play it round and round and round and round and sing along to it. Shawaddy waddy.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
You do remember them, though?
Vaguely.
Oh, but
Vaguely.
they were brilliant. I know it's corny, but I still think they were brilliant. Right, we'll have a bit of Bruno Mars, and then we're going to talk about what the winner will get if they win. It's actually very exciting. It's a great package to win. This is a Solihull Rising Star competition. The deadline for entries is the 30th of August. What was the address to enter?
info@blacktrainmusic.co.uk. Just drop an email requesting an application pack and one will be sent back.
There you go. So if you're listening, and some of my pupils I might get to enter actually, Chris, 12 to 16-year-olds, you can just enter. You can video yourself at home on your phone or whatever and get involved. That'd be really good. Right, we're going to have a bit of Bruno Mars.
Swimming in your world, something spiritual. I'm gonna get every time you spend the night. 'Cause your sex takes me to paradise. Yeah, your sex takes me to paradise and it shows. Yeah. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, Yeah, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, You bring me to my knees, you make me testify. You can make a sinner change his ways. Open up your gates, 'cause I can't wait to see the light. And where there is where I wanna stay. 'Cause your sex takes me to paradise. Yeah, your sex takes me to paradise and it shows. Yeah. 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, Yeah, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long, Can I just stay here, spend the rest of my days here? Can I just stay here, spend the rest of my days here? 'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long. Yeah, you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven for too long. Oh, yeah.
Bruno Mars there and Locked Out of Heaven. So you're listening to Solihull Radio. We are online and on demand. And if you'd like to get in touch today, you can email us at studio@solihullradio.com. With me here at the studio is Chris, and we're just talking about the competition that's upcoming, Solihull Rising Star. So Chris, tell us about what the winner gets, the package that they're going to get. Really great prize.
Well, as I said earlier, I'm a firm believer in very passionate about the live music thing and performing and working with other musicians. So as part of the package, the winner will be invited to a concert with my community choir, North Solihull Singers, later on in the year. We always have a live band accompanying the choir and all that sort of stuff. And the winner, as part of the prize package, will be invited to sing at that concert, but will also be backed by the choir on a couple of songs as well.
Okay.
So there's about 40 of them in the choir and stuff. So it's quite a wall of sound, and it's always really exciting. But that went down really well with Liam, last year's winner.
Yes.
And alongside that, Liam and his family and I are in talks, and we're planning a gig with Liam later this year, potentially, if not early next year, but within the next year. And the winner will be invited to come and duet with Liam and do a couple of songs of their own as well.
Ooh, that's good.
Which is really exciting.
Yeah.
We're offering some performance coaching sessions as well, because we recognise that some of the young people may not have much of a public performance experience. There are many people that, as I say, can sing in their bedrooms with a backing track, but to actually stand in front of a bunch of people, it's a very, very different story. So we're offering some coaching sessions in terms of how to really perform to your best and really put yourself across to your best. As part of the Black Train project, I've also got a youth choir over in the north of Solihull, and we're offering them 6 months free membership of that as well to help develop their skills as a performer. And also, courtesy of Sing It Studio experiences in Birmingham, they get a recording studio experience as well, where they can go in and sing a song. Again, that can be to a backing track. There's an engineer, a producer in the studio, and they take photographs, and you go away with a recording of your track and a photo CD as well. So a really nice sort of memory thing to kind of keep hold of and show the grandkids in lots of years' time. So we've got a whole package of experiences, we're calling it, for the winner there.
Fantastic. Yeah. Really good. So get involved, everybody. And just get in touch via, we'll give the address out one more time, Chris, if you've got it there, for people that want to enter.
info@blacktrainmusic.co.uk. They can also find Black Train Music and North Solihull Singers on social media, and contact us through there if necessary. But there's further information, and more information will be out over the coming weeks across social media as well.
Fantastic. That's great. Okay, coming back to you in just a minute. Gonna have a little bit of chill out music. Bob Marley. Yeah. No Woman, No Cry.
as it was like wood burning through the night. And we would cook cornmeal porridge, of which I'll share with you. My feet is my only carriage, so I've got to push on through. But while I'm gone, I mean, everything is gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. Everything is gonna be alright. I say, everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Yeah. Everything's gonna be alright. So woman, don't cry. No, no, woman, don't cry. Oh, my little sister, don't shed no tears. No, woman, don't cry.
Oh gosh, do you know what? It always happens. We're chatting away here in the studio, and I just forgot that it fades out. Anyway, so with me here is Chris. We're just talking about this great competition that's coming up. So Chris has got the CIC, that's correct, isn't it?
Yeah.
Called the Black Train Music, and this competition is upcoming, so do get involved in that. Anything else that you've got on the agenda that's happening or that you'd like to mention today?
Well, I just want to mention one thing about the competition, which I haven't mentioned yet, is it's not just open to solo singers. If there's a duo or trios, we're going as far as trios. Anything more than three won't get through the first round just because there's more than three.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, duos and trios, because I know there are duos and trios out there as well, then they are more than welcome to apply. So it's not just for solo singers
Fine.
at all.
Fine.
In terms of what else is going on, I've got loads of plans for projects probably from the start of next year, but at the moment, just to mention the other stuff that Black Train is doing.
Yes.
So we've got the listening project I mentioned earlier. We run a drop-in choir, which is a lunchtime thing. It's a no pressure. It's all about well-being. Turn up, sing for half an hour, go away again. Very simple. Quite often the group, they meet for coffee afterwards and things and make a nice afternoon of it. I'm out doing all sorts of other things. We've got the youth choir, we've got Little Voices, which is a singing group and music skills group for 6 to 9 year olds, I think it is. But also, and this was a huge part of a big grant that we got from the lottery earlier this year, which is a lunchtime live music programme. As I keep saying, it's, the live music thing is very important to me, and we're running fortnightly live music concerts. You mentioned the conservatoire earlier. Earlier on in the month, we had a conservatoire student who's doing a master's in performance come and play acoustic guitar. We've got singers, we've got a string quartet booked, all sorts, but every other week, different days of the week to make sure it's accessible to everyone. 45 minutes, free entry, lunchtime. It's again just turn up, sit down, enjoy it. It's about making sure the music is accessible. All the details of all of these are all over our website and social media, so they can find anything and everything there.
Wonderful, wonderful. Sounds really good. Glad everything's going so well, Chris, and thank you for coming along to Solihull Radio today. I know it's really hot. You can't wait to get back out the door.
Yeah, that's right. And before I do, whenever I listen to the radio, I can't stand it when people do shout-outs. But if I don't give a nice shout-out to my wife, Lauren...
She won't let you go to level 42.
I don't think she'll let me go anyway, but I thought I'd put a nice side to it rather than just grumble about the fact that I can't see level 42.
Lauren,
yes.
Hi, Lauren.
Hello.
Hope you're enjoying the show. Do go and see Level 42. They are a brilliant band. Talking about brilliant bands, one of my favourites. Of course, they had the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Birmingham Music Awards. Not this year, but last year. Birmingham's own. This is UB40. up to 5 o'clock very soon, and I'll be joined in about 5 minutes from our next guest, Sue, who's come to talk about the charity ball for Marie Curie in October. Had a lovely email here from one of our listeners in America, in the US. She's a big Bevan fan. Hi, Emily Valaro. Nice that you joined us again. The message just says, "Hi, Leigh. I'm letting you know I'm listening to Solihull Radio. I hope you have a good day, evening. Stay cool. It's very hot where I am too." I can imagine, actually. It's 45 or something degrees in northern Spain, but it's really hot here today. I found a different use for a can of Coke, but we won't go there. Right, coming up in the next half an hour, a bit of Billy Joel coming up, Steve Miller Band and Robbie. But this is going back a bit. I don't know whether Chris will like this. Before he goes, I'm going to play this for you. Will Smith. No. That was a bit of a grunt. Wild Wild West. No. All right, then.
Wicked wild, wild. Wicked wild, wicked wild, wicked wild, wild west. Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada. None of this. Six gunning this, brother running this. Buffalo Soldier. Look, it's like I told you. Any damsel that's in distress, be out of that dress when she meet Jim West. Roughneck, so go check the law on the abide. Watch your step will flex and get a hole in your side. Swallow your pride. Don't let your lip react. You don't wanna see my hand where my hip be at. With Artemis from the start of this, running the game. James West, taming the West. So remember the name. Now who you gonna call? Not the GB. Now who you gonna call? GWG. If you ever riff with either one of us, break out before you get bum rushed at the Wild Wild West. When I roll into the Wild Wild West. When I stroll into the Wild Wild West. When I bounce into the Wild Wild West. Cisco, Cisco. Now, once upon a time in the West, madman lost his damn mind in the West. Loveless, kidnapper down, nothing less. Now I must put his behind to the test. Then through the shadows, in the saddle, ready for battle. Bring all your poison, and kind of poison. Behind my back, all everything you did, front and center. Now where you lip at, kid? Who that is? A mean brother, bound for your health. Looking damn good, though, if I can say it myself. Told me Loveless is a madman, but I don't fit that. He got mad weapons too, ain't trying to hear that. Trying to bring down me, the champion, when y'all clowns gon' see that it can't be done. Understand me, son, I'm the slickest they is. I'm the quickest they is. Did I say I'm the slickest they is? So if you barking up the wrong tree, we coming. Don't be starting nothing. Me and my partner gonna test your chest, Loveless. Can't stand the heat to get out the wild, wild. When I roll into the wild, wild. When I stroll into the wild, when I bounce into the wild, with a pen and a pad, don't even think about it. 6-gun weighing a ton, 10 paces and turn just for fun. Sun up to sundown, rolling around, see where the bad guys are to be found and make them lay down. The defenders of the West, crushing on pretenders in the West. Don't mess with us, cause we in the Wild Wild West. When I roll into the Wild Wild West, when I stroll into the Wild Wild West, when I bounce into the Wild Wild West, when I roll into the Wild Wild West, when I stroll into the when I bounce into the wild, 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 when I roll into the
That was Will Smith and Wild Wild West. I don't know why Chris didn't like that track. I think it's very kind of Stevie Wonderish, especially with the keyboard playing in the background. Had a couple of emails actually come through. It's a shame because Chris has just left, but I'm sure he'll listen back on Podbean to this show, which will be online later on in the week. There's a message here from, who's it from? Dave Harrison. It says, Chris does so much for the community and has time for everyone and helps people's confidence along with making their dreams come true. An amazing person and a very talented musician. Well done, Chris, from Dave. That's great. Thank you for getting in touch. Hope you're enjoying the show. We've got some ABBA and Billy Joel coming up in just a few minutes. But joining me right now is a lovely lady called Sue, who is absolutely petrified, and there's absolutely no reason to be. It's just we're friends here. Sue, welcome to Solihull Radio.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, I'm fine. So I know that you are connected to working for Marie Curie. Is that as a volunteer? What do you do? What's your connection?
Right. Okay. Well, the long and short of it is, I'm not actually a volunteer. I was my late husband passed away at the hospice about 4.5 years ago now, and really out of a very dire situation, you feel that you really need to do something.
Yeah.
And
yes.
The upshot of that was I was talking to a friend about it and what I'd like to do for the hospice, because the help that they gave me after Darren passed away was quite special. You have a lot of support from the bereavement counselling team.
That's nice to know.
And to be honest with you, the way they cared for Darren as well, he was only there for a short while with the intention of bringing him home at some point. Unfortunately, that wasn't to be because of the nature of his illness. He passed away much earlier than expected. I hate to say that, but that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, the long and short of it is the support they gave him, the support they gave me. It's my way of saying thank you for everything they did for him and for me for the short time he was there. And it really started as a random conversation with a friend in a garden centre of all places. And I just said to her, do you know what I'd love to do? I really would love to do a charity board to try and raise some money. Because I'm not one of nature's best gardeners. I'm not one of nature's people who could sit on reception and take the calls and deal with the day-to-day situations. I struggle with that situation, really. So my friend thought about it, and a few weeks later we had another meet-up in the same cafe. And she turned around to me and she said, do you know, I think we could really, really pull this off. This is my friend Caroline Millichamp. She became the co-organiser of last year's charity ball, and a big thank you to Caroline for everything that she did for us last year. We had a wonderful, wonderful time. It was at the 20th of October. It was at the Crown Plaza. Fantastic evening. The aim was to raise what was known as the pay for a day cost, which is £7,500. Well, it was at the time. It's changed now, and I'll explain that in a moment. We actually raised 8.5 on the night. So that was through ticket sales, usual stuff, auctions, raffles and everything else. But the generosity and sponsorship and the kindness of folks and things that were said to us on the evening to encourage us to do another one was just phenomenal. So
and that was last year?
That was last year.
Brilliant. So we're going to talk about it in a few minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Just chill out. We're going to have a bit more music, and then we're going to talk about the ball, the date, how you can get involved with this fantastic evening to raise money for what is, of course, a fabulous cause, and it affects so many people, and we all need to get involved and help. Let's just have a bit of Billy Joel first of all, and this is It's Still Rock and Roll.
What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you tell that your tie's too wide? Well, maybe I should buy some old tab collars. Welcome back to the age of jive. Where have you been hiding out lately, honey? You can't dress trash until you spend a lot of money. Everybody's talking about the new sound, funny, but it's still rock and roll to me. What's the matter with the car I'm driving? Can't you tell that it's out of style? Should I get a set of white wall tires? Are you gonna cruise a miracle mile? Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. Your best bet's a true baby blue continental. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk, still rock and roll to me. Oh, baby, if you just give it half a chance. Don't waste your money on a new set of speakers. You get more mileage from a cheap pair of sneakers. Next phase, new wave, dance craze. Anyway, still rock and roll to me. All right, Rico. With the crowd I'm seeing, don't you know that they're out of touch? Should I try to be a straight A student? If you are, then you think too much. Don't you know about the new fashion, honey? All you need are looks and a whole lot of money. It's the next phase, new wave, dance craze. Anyway, still rock and roll with me. Everybody's talking about the new sound, funny, but it's still rock and roll to me.
Solihull Radio.
Stand and deliver! I spend my cash on looking flash and grabbing your attention. The devil take your stereo and your record collection. The way you look, you'll qualify for next year's old age pension. Stand and deliver the money or your life. Try the mirror, the bullet or a knife. I'm the dandy highwayman, so sick of easy fashion. The clumsy boots pick up a ropes that people think so dashing. So what's the point of robbery when nothing is worth taking? It's kind of tough to tell a scrap the big mistake is making. Stand and deliver the money or your life. Try the mirror, no bullet or a knife. And even though you fool your soul, your conscience will be mine. Oh, mine. We're the dandy highwaymen, so tired of excuses, of digging in philosophies where only showbiz loses. We're the dandy highwaymen, and here's our invitation. Throw your safety overboard and join our insect nation. Stand and deliver the money or your life. Try the mirror, no bullet or a knife. Even though you fool your soul, your conscience will be mine. Oh, mine.
Leigh Perry on Solihull Radio.
Adamant there and Stand and Deliver. So you're listening to Solihull Radio and you can get in touch with us today. You can just email us studio@solihullradio.com. You will remember a few months ago I had a local resident, Mike Fisher, who came on the line actually, and he was talking about a really bad incident of fly tipping that had gone on in the Solihull area. And it was bad, really, really bad. There were tons and tons of rubbish dumped in a private street, including animal carcasses, all sorts of just vile things going on there. And he was on the phone line having an interview, obviously very, very angry about what was going on and what the police were doing about it. But I've just had a text message come through from Mike. Hi, Mike. Hope you're well. Saying, just had some very good news. The white fly tipping van has been apprehended by Solihull Council's Peter Barker and will be crushed any day now. So the van can no longer fly tip in the area, thanks entirely due to the enormous efforts of Peter Barker. That's brilliant news, Mike. Really, really good. And I know that you're going to be coming on the phone over the next few weeks, just telling us about things that are going on in the Solihull area, which is great. But right now, with me in the studio, I've got Sue, and we're just talking off air about how fantastic they are, how supportive the staff are at the Marie Curie Hospice here in Solihull. And Sue, you decided, because of the tragic circumstances surrounding your late husband, that you wanted to get involved and do something to make a difference.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, that's right. I mean, as I said to you, I'm not one of life's volunteers. I can't really stand at the front of a reception. I'm clearly not designed to climb up a mountain. You've seen me today. or do some kind of wonderful polar trek or something like that. So I thought to myself, well, there must be another way. And the charity ball was the way. I'm quite a social butterfly, even though I'm extremely nervous today. I'm absolutely shaking in my shoes. But even though I'm going through that today, I'm quite one of life's social butterflies. You can't shut me up 99.9% of the time. So that's the reason why I thought, well, I can talk to people, get out there, sell some tickets. Everybody has a great evening, raises lots of money for the hospice. As I said to you, the reason why we do what we do, we aim to raise enough money to run the hospice for a day. And the actual scheme, which you can go online and look at the Marie Curie site and type in pay for a day. Last year it was set at £7,500. This year they did a kind of a review to make sure whether that was relevant and right, and unfortunately it wasn't. It's actually significantly more now. For the hospice itself at Solihull, it costs £4.1 million a year in just voluntary contributions and fundraising to maintain and keep running that hospice. For the folks out there that didn't realise, the government only actually contributes 30% of their running costs. Everything else is done through volunteers, so the gardeners are in there. They're not paid for. They come and give up their time when they want to and help with the gardens. You have receptionists which work voluntary as well. You have teams that work during the day hospice activities, I believe. So, and then people like I hate to sound a bit of a big head, but people like myself and other fundraisers out there help raise money to run the hospice. So we're quite small. There are other balls out there, I believe. One is quite a big one, and they raise a lot of money. But we don't. We just try and keep it small and simple, and all our aim is to raise enough money to run the hospice for a day. So our target for this year is to raise £11,500, which would pay for a day.
11.5. Okay, so what's we've got the posters here, and we can put something on Solihull Facebook's page and things like that, and I can keep mentioning it, obviously leading up to the event. So what's the date of the ball?
Okay,
Sue?
well, the ball is Friday, the 4th of October.
4th of October.
It's at the Village Hotel in Shirley, Solihull. The reason why we've chosen there is we've had to go bigger, because we've had a little bit of demand for it. It was really successful last year, and we were absolutely fit to burst. There was no room at the inn, as it were, and we were at the Crown Plaza last year.
Okay.
So we've had to go a little bit bigger, somewhere with more capacity and able to fit in the rather large funk and soul band that we've booked.
Oh,
so,
sounds exciting.
It is. They're very, very good. See, it's so backed by popular demand, but the feedback generally from last year was everything was just so much fun that we decided to book them again. And we've kind of got a few little signatures that we've learnt along the way from the last one. So again, we're going to bring those back in so everybody knows. Really great.
Okay, so is it a dinner and then you've got entertainment?
Yeah. So what we actually do is we have a 3-course dinner followed by the band coming on, doing they do a massively long set, which is fantastic.
Brilliant.
Of funk and soul classics.
Brilliant.
And then followed by DJ Franco, who's a DJ that's based at Nowcote Hall, and he's actually given up his time, and he does a DJ set for us until the end of the evening.
Wonderful.
So in between all that, of course, you have your raffles and your functions, your auctions, and so it's the nerves, and so on, to raise as much as we can.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Sounds like it's going to be a fantastic night. We'll tell you in just over 3 minutes how you can actually get tickets and where you can look up about the event. Let's have a bit of ABBA this afternoon. And this is Does Your Mother Know? ABBA. And Does Your Mother Know? Can't beat some ABBA. Right, still got to get in some Dire Straits and some Robbie, I think, in the next few minutes. But with me in the studio here is Sue, and we're talking about this fantastic ball that takes place in October, the 4th of October, at the Village.
It's the Village Hotel in
Village
Shirley.
Hotel in Shirley. So how many seats are you looking to sell for this ball?
Wow, we thought we'd go for it this year. So last year we did 120. This year we're going for 220.
Okay.
The aim is to raise, just on ticket sales alone, if we go to full capacity, we will raise £10,000 at least.
Fantastic.
So, which is pretty special for us.
That's really good. That's really good. So how much are the tickets?
Right, the tickets are £50 each.
Right.
Okay, and we're inviting people to go for tables of 10 if they wish, or there isn't a problem if you want to come on your own or just bring a friend with you. It's not a problem. The atmosphere is so lovely, and from based on last year's, people are so easygoing about it. It's such a good atmosphere that there isn't a problem. Everyone talks to each other about things.
That's really nice.
So it's really
That's
nice.
really nice. So how will the evening pan out without giving too much away? You've got your dinner, you've got this band. So the band is...
The band is known as Final Funk.
Okay.
They're, as I said to you, 11-piece
Whoa.
funk and soul band. We have a horn section as well.
Wow.
Which is pretty unusual, apparently.
Well, an 11-piece band is massive.
Yeah,
That
it
is
caused us a
big.
bit of an issue last year when they turned up and we were trying to get them ready. And in the end, it was very cosy, should we say,
I'll
with
bet.
a full capacity room plus an 11-piece funk and soul band. So,
Goodness.
with regards to how the evening's going to pan out, so we meet at reception at 7 for a nice little drinks reception, which has been kindly donated by the Village Hotel. And thank you very
Brilliant.
much for that.
That's nice.
Followed by a chat by myself explaining why we're all here in the first place with regards to raising awareness of the hospice. A chat from one of the guys at the hospice itself, followed by your lovely 3-course meal.
Nice.
And dance the night away to the Final Funk and have a great evening, followed by a DJ set. Obviously, in between that, we're going to have a few surprises along the way as well. The usual things like a raffle, and we do something that's kind of a bit crazy. We do a lucky dip,
Right.
so which have some really wacky prizes in. So it was wonderful last year. Everybody loved it. They were paying a crazy amount of cash. We've reevaluated that this year because people were doing too well out of it last year and we weren't. So we've reevaluated that. But yeah, so there's a few things going on.
That's really, really good. So it's going to be a great night. So the main thing is, Sue, if somebody wants to get hold of tickets,
Okay.
where do they go? What's the info?
Okay, well, you can contact me direct, please. So my email address is sgilmant@blueyonder.co.uk. Yeah, I'm still old school. Sorry, guys.
So that's S Gilmant. So that's SGILMANT. No.
I'll spell it.
Yeah, spell it for us.
I'll spell it for you. It's S for sugar,
Yes.
G for golf, U for umbrella, I for igloo, L for Lima, M for mother, A for apple, N for Nelly, T for Tommy, at blueyonder.co.uk. You can see I've done this a few times. Yeah?
You have. Well done on that.
And also, if you want to ring me, you're welcome to do so as well. And my number is 07473 950 184. Can't always contact you straight away. So if you'd just like to leave a message, because I do work. Sorry.
Yes.
That I do.
No, that's great. I presume if people were to look on the Marie Curie site, would it be...
It's not actually on there. We have a lady who works with us in the fundraising team at the hospice, but they're very limited on what they can do. It's on the Marie Curie West Midlands Facebook page.
Perfect.
And the
Okay.
details are actually on there at the moment.
Perfect.
My instructions are to my friends, share it with everybody.
Yes, share,
and we're
share.
getting there with that. But,
Great.
Also, we are desperately, if I may mention it,
Yeah, absolutely.
we are looking for sponsorship.
Absolutely.
All we're actually looking for, because everything else has been provided free of charge or already given,
That's good.
is sponsorship for our tables.
Okay.
So each table costs £200 for sponsorship. We have I can write in detail if anybody wants to contact me with regards to that. We arrange for the details to go in the magazines. They have business cards on the table. They will go on the table plan. There's lots of various things and ways we can get through to people to know that you sponsored them. What we found last year is quite a few people wanted to sponsor in memory of a loved one or
that's
friend.
a good idea. Yeah.
And a lot of people find that helpful.
Yeah.
To them.
Yeah, I understand.
So we do that as well. So I personally, I'm a bit of a naughty girl really, and what I do is I sponsor in name of my company and then sponsor in memory of my husband.
Yeah, great
so
idea.
It works.
Great
It
idea.
helps. It
Yeah.
really does.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Brilliant. Sue, that wasn't too bad, was it? It wasn't as bad as you thought.
No,
there you
it was
go.
fine.
There you go. So come on again, maybe. Come on end
I'd
of the
love
summer.
to.
Yeah,
Yes,
and we can
I'd love
talk
to.
more about what's going on a bit closer to the ball, how things are going, bit of feedback. And in the meantime, if anybody's listening and can get involved and maybe sponsor a table, something like that, then you can get in touch and we'll revisit this chat if that's okay. We are almost out of time. Next week is Psychic Sunday. And Arushi, you'll be back next week. We're going to be back to the 2 hours, and we'll have more of what's going on. Say hi.
Hi, everyone.
That's gone really quickly, hasn't it? Well,
has.
can we bring a fan in next week?
Definitely. Not the heaters that we already have here.
No, exactly. I think maybe the weather's going to cool down anyway, so it won't be
So-
quite as bad as it is today. It has been extremely hot. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Just a slightly shorter show today because we are so hot here. But yeah, it's Psychic Sunday next week. I always love that one.
I'm excited to see what's
Psychic
gonna happen.
Beth. Have you been here when I've done a
I
psychic?
don't think I
oh my
have.
goodness. Okay, so it's live. It's with Psychic Beth. She's incredible. She will do live readings. She takes phone calls. She takes emails. She'll have the tarot cards with her. She's going to do some training. She's going to train me. That'll be interesting. And also, what fascinates me is the animal communication. So I know you may not believe in it, but do tune in because it's really, really good. So Beth will be here next week. The week after that, I have an astrologer. I've got loads of great guests lined up, and I've got some really exciting news about a project I'm getting involved with the fantastic Richie Sampson and Soul Kind of Wonderful. If you like Motown, this is something that you're going to be very, very interested in. I'm going to tell you a bit more about that next week on the show here at Solihull Radio. So don't forget to join us 4 o'clock live at Touchwood, Solihull Radio, and look out for the Podbean, the repeat of today's show, which will be up and running from about midweek. Hope you've enjoyed the show. I'm going to finish off today with some Steve Miller. This is a Steve Miller Band and Abracadabra. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great week, and I'll be back with you next Sunday.